Oh, okay. Wow. All right. This is SCORE Cleveland, and we are the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the nation. No matter what stage your business is in at SCORE, we have a mentor for you. You can easily request a mentor to help you start, grow, or transition your business today. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We aim to give every person the support they need to thrive as a small business owner. As you know, small business drives our national economy through business formation, job creation, and wealth building. Small businesses are critical to vibrant communities for our society. SCORE volunteers give freely of their time, energy, and knowledge to others. And as you can see, we anyone who comes to SCORE will get a SCORE mentor when they request it. Our work is supported in part by the Small Business Administration. We have a network of 10,000 mentors nationwide in over 250 chapters. This is the SCORE website, and if you so desire, you can request a SCORE mentor by clicking on local mentors. And when you see this, you'll know they're there. If you just say SCORE, you could wind up with Guardians baseball statistics. So make sure you say score.org. And for those of you who have phones and not watching it on your phone, you can capture these QR codes and log in. I'm going to leave them up here for about 10 or 15 seconds. So if you want to capture the homepage on the left or request a Cleveland mentor on the right, we'll do a quick countdown here. Excuse me. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back to Lindsay. Take it away, Lindsay.
Hello, everyone. So I see a bunch of names that I've seen before, and I am very excited to jump in with everyone. There are a bunch of you who are new as well. So if it doesn't matter whether you've been here or not, I really want you to introduce yourself. So if everyone can in the chat tell me who you are, where you're from, and what your business is, that would be really helpful. We're going to be talking about ads today. And so I want to make sure that everyone here has some specific advice that I can give based on what your questions are, what the businesses you're working on, what you're thinking about advertising. So go ahead, drop that in the chat. And of course, as per usual, I will be watching the chat the entire time. So if you're in the chat and you're sharing information, believe me, the chat is up and I am watching it. So again, go ahead, let me know who you are, where you're from, and all that jazz, and I will be watching along with you in the chat. And again, like working with the businesses that you have, because I really want to make sure that I'm helping you with what you need. So I'll keep my eye on the chat. And then if you all have any questions or concerns throughout the workshop of anything that is happening, you let me know because I am here for you. I love it. Darren is with Ultimate Hoodie in Chicago. Catherine is in Eastern Maine. No, Maine? Are you in Eastern Maine? Or is that Massachusetts? Okay, Eastern Massachusetts. Yeah, because which one's MN? Oh my goodness. Did I just realize that my fifth grade education has failed me? I can't remember which one's Maine, which one's Massachusetts, and which one's is Minnesota. I think MN is Minnesota. Someone's going to have to correct me now because it's going to drive me nuts. And I can't just Google it because I'm doing a workshop here. MS, that's Mississippi. MA is Massachusetts. Okay, thank you. At least I corrected myself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have someone here in Euclid. You're my neighbor. Another David in Chicago. Is there? Oh no, Darren in Chicago and then David in Chicago. Okay, so yeah, like let me know. We got people from all over the Midwest here in the workshop today. So let us know what your business is because again, I want to make sure I'm using y'all as examples because I want to use you as examples. ME, that's Maine. Okay, I was gonna say I've been to Maine. I know it's one of those letters. ME. Okay. It's my brain just knew what it was. If you are watching on YouTube, I am also checking out the chat on this screen. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions over here. I can see the chat as we're going. Okay, I'm Lindsay. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I am the Ohio Grow with Google coach. And what I am doing here is just hanging out with y'all and talking about all of the wonderful things that we have to offer as far as ads are concerned There are plenty of things that I'm going to suggest for you all. We got people from Tennessee and people from Detroit and people from other places in Ohio. This is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to suggest a lot of stuff today, but what I want you all to think of is this is not a sales pitch. Nothing in this workshop is trying to get you to do ads. What I want you to do is understand how they work so that when you're ready. Like you actually can do them and feel confident, because otherwise a lot of people will get started doing ads, but then they're not confident. And I don't want any of that. I want you to feel confident that you know what's going on. And so that is what we're going to work on today. We have Bill, who is also here from Cleveland. I love it. So, like, yeah, keep telling me who you are, where you're from, and what you're up to so that I can know. Again, I love that podcast content creator. Bill, that is awesome. Okay, so why are we even doing a workshop about ads? One of the reasons why we're looking at ads is because ads are by far just a way to reach people. Like 49% of shoppers survey said they use Google to discover or find new items or products, to find things. So often people are using Google when they are looking to discover something. That one is a little bit different from how I think most people think about Google. It is, a lot of people think that you go to Google to answer a question, but the reality is, if you're going on a cruise to a new location that you've never been before, or if you're going on a Mediterranean holiday, or if you're going to Alaska for the first time, if you're going any of these places, you're going to be Googling literally in order to discover which products are served, which products you need, what clothing you need, what things you need to take with you. You're going to be looking to discover and to find out information. People don't always think of search like that, but that is exactly how a lot of people use search. But they also use search to find you all. So we have people who are doing podcasts and content creation, and people who are bakeries, people who are looking for cookies or pies, people who are looking for the local chamber, people who are looking for admin assistants or virtual assistants. There are always people who are looking for the type of things that you are all are doing. And when I say clothing, Darren was the first one who mentioned themselves in the comments. People are always looking for alternatives with clothing, like they're looking for new things. We are a shopping society. And so, because we're shopping, we have to remember how people think about their shopping. And often their shopping starts with a Google, like with a Google search. It starts inside of the browser. And so, what are the benefits of doing ads? Again, this is not to get you to do them, it's so that you understand them. The best thing about ads is that you can actually reach a specific audience. So, often when you are creating content, or when you have a podcast, thank you, Bill, for having a podcast. So it makes it a lot easier for me to make this analogy. When you have a podcast, anyone who has access to a podcast software can listen to your podcast. Anyone who, if you have a YouTube channel, anyone on YouTube can find your content, even if you're in Oklahoma and they live in Cleveland, right? So anyone at all can get your content. If you have a Facebook page or if you have an Instagram account, anyone on the planet can find you and follow you and can love your stuff. But it's not always applicable. Like if you have a podcast studio, you may want people who are local, or at the very least willing to travel to where you are, to use your podcast studio. And so one of the things about, like, if you have a bakery, things like that, you want to reach a specific audience. You might want people to watch your content from all over, but you're not necessarily going to service people from all over. And so the idea is that you get to reach a specific audience. And not just that, but everyone who's watching your content may not be your customer. So if you are a person who has a gardening channel, you can have anyone watching your content, but not everyone watching your content is watching it because they have a garden. A lot of people are watching your content because it's soothing, or because they love watching things that are gardening related, but they themselves don't have a garden. They can't follow along. They can't buy any of your products. And so one of the things that makes ads really useful is the fact that you get to kind of direct who sees them. You get to control where they appear and how much you spend. So you're not, at no point in advertising are you dedicated to spending a certain amount of money. That is not how any of this works. You spend as much as you want to spend on ads. And then the other thing is that you get to measure the results. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about how You don't get to just measure the results. If you're doing ads the way I'm going to suggest you do ads, you can actually use your advertising to get information, like to gather data, instead of just using it to sell something. If you are Camilla and you sell insurance and you're looking to start a business blog, you can actually use ads to figure out exactly what content you should put on your business blog. That is the kind of thing you can use ads for, because if you know who you're trying to reach, like who the audience is, you can use ads to test out what information resonates with people. You can test different pictures. There's all sorts of things you can do to actually get not just more exposure for your content, but actually figure out what people want to see and what they care about. And that's extremely useful. So over the course of this hour-ish that we have here, I am going to be talking about a bunch of things, how it works. We're going to focus on specifically text ads, but actually we're going to talk about other stuff too, because y'all know I can't just talk about one thing. I have to talk about all the things. And so we're going to talk about text ads and probably video ads, because I love video ads. We're going to talk about getting started with them, measuring them, figuring all these things out so that you all understand how everything works. So how does it work? Again, I am a big fan of the chat, so y'all are going to have to participate with me in the chat today, because we're going to talk about how all these things work. First, it starts with a search query. It starts with a term that someone puts into search, and then Google starts creating that search engine results page. Now, that search engine results page is pulling a bunch of things from a bunch of different places, and advertisers are part of that combination of things that are being pulled. Now, if you have bid for that keyword, then depending on a few things we'll talk about in a second, the winners are going to show up in the ads. They're going to show up at the top in the ads. Now, I want y'all to tell me what keywords you think people are using, not to look for your specific business, but to look for your industry. So if someone is doing a basic generic Google search and they don't know you exist, what are they going to Google in order to find you? So put that in the chat. What are people Googling in order to find you? What are people Googling? Go ahead, put it in the chat. I'll wait, because I want to do a demo. I want to do a demonstration. Like, what is it? Not just what is your product? So what is the thing that they are Googling? Desserts, treats, pastries. David, be specific. Where? Darren, be specific. What type of clothing are people? Thank you. Hoodies. Chantrice is saying virtual admin. Oh, virtual admin content creator. That's a very specific one. Acrylic paintings. Gina, I'm going to challenge you on that one. They're probably not okay. Chicago bakeries. That's a good one. Event planning assistant. Acrylic paintings. They're probably looking for art, right? Not just the paintings themselves. Medicare insurance. Thank you, Camilla. That's a very good one. So they're Googling specific things. Massage therapy, Janelle, that is it right there. Massage therapy near me. That is exactly what people are Googling. Okay, so they're Googling those types of things. I'm going to pick a product and I'm going to pick a service. So I'm going to pick hoodies, because Darren was the first one in here. So I'm going to say hoodies, but I'm going to say, Darren, you said your hoodies are special. They're not just regular hoodies. So what makes your hoodies ultimate? Is it the ultimate hoodies? What makes your hoodies so special? Ooh, yeah, Ellen. Nutritionists, not specifically, they could be looking for Black nutritionists, or they could be looking for nutritionists in specific neighborhoods too. Darren, you got to type it in. What makes your hoodie warm hugs? Okay, so they're looking for warm hoodies. Okay, and then if you saw, before I even move forward, when I started, it's got warm hoodies for winter, warm hoodies near me, thermal lined sweatshirts, thermal hoodies, best warm hoodies. Okay, so if I'm Darren, I need to be looking at this entire list. And then specifically warm hoodies for women, warm hoodies for men, hoodies for men. Okay, so Darren, I hope you're taking notes. This, of course, is being recorded and it's on YouTube right now. So you will have this to be able to look at again. So people are looking for warm hoodies. When we come up, the first thing you see here is this sponsored area right there. These are all ads. So every single one of these, from Comfort to Carhartt to Lands' End to Quince to Gap Factory. And if you're wondering How is Comfort first? It's because Comfort is competing directly with Darren, even though the Gap and Quince and Lands' End and Carhartt are all brands that have been around for decades and decades and decades. Literally all of them, except for Quince. Quince has only been around for like a decade, but every single one of them has been around forever. And they came in second to Comfort. And Comfort is a brand new brand I have never heard of before. And why? Because Comfort is offering exactly what I'm asking for, which is warm hoodies. And so we're going to see how Google doesn't just put ads in anybody's order. They put these ads in order according to whether or not it's answering my question. So when Ellen puts in here Black nutritionist, if someone is searching for that and Ellen is the answer, then Ellen is going to come up if she's running ads. It's just going to happen because it's the answer to my question. And so we want to make sure that we are the answer to someone's question, like warm hoodie, and not just hoodies in general, because hoodies in general, there's going to be Carhartt, you're competing with Lands' End, you're competing with the Gap, you're competing with all these big companies. But if Darren wants to compete, not compete, like compete a little bit less, then he is going to type in other keywords like thermal lined or extra comfortable or warm, like we did just now. Okay, so that was a really good example, Darren. I love it when y'all actually give me great examples. And Chantrice, I'm going to use you next. So, and we got virtual admin. So when I just type in virtual admin, I get virtual admin assistant jobs. Now, I will say I've worked with people who do virtual administration, and one of the challenges with running ads is that the vast majority of people who are searching for a VA don't call them VAs. They don't call them virtual assistants at all. So they're not actually searching for a virtual assistant. So when someone is looking for a virtual assistant, they're probably looking for the second part of what Chantrice put in there. So I am going to type in a different word called remote and then content creator. Now, still, I'm getting a lot of jobs and not a lot of people who are looking for that term. So I'm going to type it in and look at the first thing I get. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And then all this stuff over here, these are all search platforms as well. So we can ignore them. These do not come with Google. But this is what I get. And then I get jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs. I did not type in job. I did not type in anything related to a job. So I'm going to ask Chantrice because this is just like the hoodie problem where we're typing in the keyword, but it's not the right keyword. So with me asking Darren, what kind of hoodie is it? I need Chantrice to tell me, what exactly do you do? What do you help people with? Because that's what we really want to type in. So every single one of us, other than Janelle, you need to keep yours exactly the same. Everybody else needs to figure out what is that other thing that they need to have Google like looking for in order to find them. If they need to, what are people who want to find you really looking for? Because yes, people who are looking for a massage therapist are just putting in massage therapist near me. People who are looking for bakeries in Chicago are literally just typing in bakeries in Chicago. People who are looking for an event planner are also just looking for an event planner. So there's certain things that people are just gonna type in those exact words, and then other things where it's a little bit more complicated. So help with admin work. Now, Chantrice, I'm going to give you another little tip. People don't know what admin work is. And so what we want to do is not just say help feeling less overwhelmed with admin. We want to say what the specific thing is that I need help with. So like help with managing my inbox. Help with like what is the thing? Organizing documents. So we need to get really specific because what we want to do is try to find what do people need help with. So help with managing my inbox. And then see how it said in Outlook, in Gmail, in all of those types of things. Well, Chantrice, that's a very good question. Chantrice says, what do I do if I do multiple things? Well, I'm betting David is up there making all sorts of baked goods in Chicago. Like he is a bakery, but he doesn't just bake a cake. He bakes a lot of stuff. So when we're people who do a lot of things, then we can advertise a variety of the things that we do. And I was even gonna say, thank you, David. David's like, true story. And so this is great because I want to make sure that we know everyone here needs to do this. What we're talking about with Chantrisse, everyone needs to get specific. Because the more specific you are, the better your ad. And so we have a sponsored right here for a software that helps with email management. We have another software and another software and then another software. So we got 4 software that help with email management because they are betting on this keyword. But you know what we didn't see? Not a single virtual assistant ad. And why not? Because the other virtual assistant companies, the ones that I've told you about, they don't do what I'm telling you to do, Chantrisse. You could be in here. You could be in here. You could be in this bet right here because you offer help with managing my inbox. And you're not a software, you're a person, you're people. And so this is like great because it actually gives you an opportunity to get found in this search. Okay, so we gave our 2 examples. That little example that I showed you there was what it looks like when you Google a product and what it looks like when you're Googling a service, and then trying to figure out like how to use the right keywords to get found for the thing you want to get found for. So one of the reasons why I said, again, this ain't a sales pitch and I don't want you to buy nothing is because it takes a little bit of time for all of us to figure out what those keywords are. And there are a few ways to do it. So we're going to talk about how to do that, but we're also going to talk about everything that happens between you thinking about this right now in this workshop and then us actually getting started with it. Okay, so thank you both. Thank you. Thanks everyone for participating. Keep your eye on the chat because we're gonna be talking for the rest of this hour. Okay. So how did comfort come up first? And how did that front software come up first? How does Google determine who's going to come up first? And the way they determine that is not just based on who's spending more money. So when I said that you can actually determine your budget and you do not have to spend a ton of money, it is because that is absolutely and completely true. You do not have to spend a ton of money. You can determine your budget. And the best thing that you can do is think about the fact that Google wants to be right, right? Like Google's reputation is based on the idea that when I type something in, the answers that I get are the correct answer. So Chantrisse might say, but if I type in virtual assistant and it doesn't show me virtual assistant companies, then Google is wrong. Except for that, Google is smart. And the vast majority of people who type virtual assistant or content creator into Google are virtual assistants and content creators. Google is not stupid. And so the fact that that's the case means that those of us who are trying to get found for those terms have to use a different term. Like we have to do something else because if Google is outright telling you that is not the term regular people on the street use, then you have to capitulate. You have to just switch because you can't fight all the people. Like it's not Google, it's the humans. Like it's all the people who are out there doing the searching. Do y'all understand what I'm saying right now when I say that you trying to force Google to make your thing show up for the keyword, but ain't nobody looking for that keyword? You're fighting the wrong game. Okay, good, good. Whew, as long as we are right, we all on the same page because y'all get mad at me when I say you can't use the term virtual assistant, and I'm like, you can't because it's not the term people are looking for. Okay. And yes, people use layman's term. Yes, specificity. Okay. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same page. So the reason why all of this matters is because Google, like I said, they want to be right. So if someone is Googling a term, they're not just going to put everybody into the same bucket and then just whoever bid the most gets to be in first position. No, what they do is they actually use a couple of different factors to determine what's going to be in first position. They use competition. How many other people are bidding for this thing? Context. Context is what does the person who is typing this into Google actually mean? That's the context. That's that specificity we were just talking about. That's that thing where people are using layman's terms. That is what Google is talking about when it says context. And then quality is how close does this ad get to what this person is actually trying to accomplish. And that's the reason why comfort came up before Carhartt and all of those other brands, is because Comfort has the warm hoodies. Did you see how fluffy those hoodies were? Comfort has them fluffy, warm hoodies. And so Comfort got found first because I asked for warm hoodies, and Comfort got the closest to the quality of what I was asking for. And so we all need to be thinking like that. If we think like that, our ads get better. Everything we do gets better if we think the right way. And so that's my job, is to get you to think the right way. Now we are talking about a specific type of ad, and that is pay per click. Pay per click ads are the ones that you're going to use when you first get started. And the reason why pay per click is awesome is because you saw how I was over here, and I saw Front, and I saw Superhuman, and I saw Maelstrom, and I saw Hiver. And then when we were back here on this warm hoodie search, I saw Comfort and Carhartt and Lands' End and Quince and Gap Factory and Comfort again. Until I click on these ads, they pay nothing. So the fact that I'm seeing them is fine. They're not paying a dime until I click. And when I click on the ads is when they start paying Google money. And so what you have to understand about pay per click is that it is what makes the fact that we're running ads as small businesses, it makes it so much better, because then you're not going to get charged just for eyeballs. Instead, you're only getting charged when someone actually is clicking through to your website. And that's the reason why you see me in these workshops and I don't be clicking on these ads, because I do not want to charge people money, just to show y'all how ads work, right? And so that is the idea, is that you only pay when someone clicks on it, right? And because all of those people did a good job of being found for the right thing, if I was actually looking for any of those things, I would be really likely to click on that top ad, because those are the things that I'm looking for. And as you know, I'm shopping. I'm looking for a solution, which means I'm in the market to buy. Now, the beautiful thing about the type of ads I'm going to show you today is that your ads are not just going to show up on the search. They're also going to show up in images and videos and text. They're going to show up in a lot of places. And I will show you how, by creating one ad, you can actually have it create a bunch of ads in reality, because Google is actually leveraging Gemini within Google Ads now. And so you don't even have to know anything about AI. You don't have to know how it works. You don't have to understand it in order for it to work for you, which is fantastic. So we're going to talk about that too. So how does all this work when we're actually advertising on Google? So the first thing you're going to do is go to google.com/ads. So I'm going to go there right now. Y'all know, again, I like to show y'all what to do. So google.com/ads. And when I go to google.com/ads, it is going to immediately give me an offer. It's going to say, hey, do you want to redeem an ads credit? And then if I scroll down to the bottom of the page, it has offer A, offer B, and offer C. And what this means for everyone who is interested in one of these ads credits is that you have 60 days to spend this amount of money. So if you already knew you were going to run ads and you set aside a budget of $500 to run those ads, like you set aside that money, you already have it, you're not doing anything special to get it, you can click on this button. And it will, once you have spent $500, you will literally get a $500 ad credit inside of your ads platform. So once you've spent that $500, you will get $500. So you'll be able to run $1,000 worth of ads for $500. If you spend $780 or $780, you will get $700 worth of credit. If you spend $1,200, you will get $900 worth of credit. So it takes you up to $900 plus 12, it takes you up to $2,100 worth of ads for $1,200. And so it's really nice if you're interested, if you already have a budget, not making up one. I don't want none of y'all spending no money today because of this. Don't do that. If you have the money already, you set it aside and you're ready to get started, then you can claim one of these today. Otherwise, you're going to hit start now or sign in. Now, let me go all the way back up to the top because there's a big lesson in here that most of y'all don't do right. You got to know which email address are you signed in under, because a lot of y'all have multiple email addresses, as do I. I have a bunch. I have like 3 here and I got 2 more that you can't even see. And so I got a bunch of Gmail addresses. If I am not like watching closely, I might be signed into the wrong email address up here, and then I can't see, like, I'll go back in here and can't see my ads. So always make sure you know which account you're using. And if you already have a Google Business profile, use the same email address that you use for your Google Business profile, because if you do, then it will show up for you. It literally shows up and it's amazing. It's so easy. Okay. So I'm going to create a new one just so that we can show you how the entire process works. So new Google Ads, create a new one because it's just automatically showing me one that it thinks I tried to create. And this is how it starts. It's going to give you a bunch of prompts. And then when you get done with the prompts, you're going to have a bunch of ads already created for you. So let's go back to the slide deck and I want to walk through those prompts real quick, and then I will walk through them with you over inside of ads. And again, you will get the recording for this and it's already up on YouTube. So you'll be able to watch it in both places. Now, the first thing you're going to do is enter your business name. And if you did that little trick that I said, where you use the same email address you use for your Google Business profile, if you did that, then magically your business is going to show up here. So if I click start my first campaign, you see how it's filled it in with this term Bickford Flavors, and that is because the Bickford Flavors is the profile that is linked to my Google, my Gmail, my Google address that's here. So if I'm logged in here, it's automatically going to populate that business name. Now, if I switch it out to, which is the current name of my business, I can enter that in and go to my current business. Now, where should people go after clicking on your ads? That is the next question that it asks. This is not your homepage. So remember when we said specificity, it's the last word in the chat is David saying specificity. If David was going to do an ad, David should probably not do an ad for the bakery in general, because people might be typing in bakery. They might. But what if they're typing in something even more specific? So, David, tell me in the chat, what is your absolute best seller? What's the thing that like everybody loves? People just fawn all over it. They can't get enough of it. Ugh, they just can't. They love you so much because you make this thing. So, what does that look like for you, David? Go ahead, drop it in the chat. Cookie, cookies, monster. Okay, David. I didn't tell y'all this, but I'm from St. Louis, and so I didn't been to Chicago a many a time. And David, in that word, just made me want to come to Chicago again because I am indeed a cookie person. Yes, Darren, cookies. Aren't you in Chicago? You could go get some cookies. Okay, so when you say Cookies Monster, first of all, that's fantastic. What kind of cookie is Cookies Monster? I love this. What kind is it? An everything cookie? Darren is like, I am headed to the shop right now. Go ahead, David. Tell me what kind of cookie is Cookies Monster. I have a feeling I know. And if it is exactly what you're about to say, I'm going to be sad again because I'm not in Chicago right now. And like I said, I've been to Chicago more times than I can count. Like literally, couldn't tell you how many times I've been to Chicago because I've been to Chicago that many times. So the reason why I'm asking David to tell me all this information is because if we're going to put a page in our ads, we need to put a very specific page. We want to be specific about what people are looking for. And so he said cookies. I'm going to go with the fact that it might be, oh my goodness, it's a stuffed cookie. Okay. Okay, David, this is the best thing ever. So it's a stuffed cookie. So what I would do if I was David is instead of, David, do you want to share your website? Do you have a website? Can you share it? Because if you can share your website, I'm just going to go to your website and tell you what page I would go to. Because we don't want to go to David's homepage. And this works for Chantrice and Darren and everyone else. You don't want to go to the homepage because the homepage is too generic. We need to go to a page that is specific. something where when someone Googles the thing, oh, okay, David doesn't have a live web page yet. That's cool. And it's just an idea, right? So when we want to go to what the homepage is, I'm going to use Bickford as an example, actually. I would not want to go to Bickford Flavors homepage because this is what it looks like. It is all of the things. It is a bunch of different flavors. It is a bunch of information. And I didn't come here for all of this. I just wanted a strawberry flavor, right? I wanted a strawberry flavor. So I am going to come over here and type in, because I know they have strawberry flavor because they were a client of mine for literally years. I'm going to type in strawberry. And I am going to type, ooh, 25 times. That's extra strawberry. It's like I want it to taste like strawberries. No, strawberries came and went. Okay, so I got strawberries here. I'm going to hit the copy button. And then what I would paste in here is that strawberry flavor page. I would not paste in anything else. I would put this in here. Why? Because this is exactly what it looks like. It is how to order a strawberry extract. And if instead of going, I want to, have an ad for all of my flavors, they have 138 flavors. Actually, I think it's like 183. I like to transpose things. 183 flavors. We can't just have the one, we can't put it on the homepage. You have to send people to the right place. So if I'm Chantrice, I'm sending people directly to a page about email because that's what they asked the question about. So I hope y'all understand what I mean by you're not sending them to a specific, any homepage. You're sending them to a specific page. And then with Google, what they're going to do is say, great, thank you. That's going to increase the quality of your ad because they're going to look at this page and go, this page is about strawberry flavor. They're going to read this page and know what it's about. And because they're going to know what it's about, they're going to be way more likely to send people to the page if it answers their question. So then after I put that in there, I am going to hit next. And then it's going to review my URL and it's going to then add in a description. It wants me to describe things that make my business unique. It wants me to specify that I'm a baking ingredient, that I'm a wholesaler, that I sell herbs and spices. Like it wants you to be specific about baking ingredients or cooking ingredients. I'm just going to put ingredients and see if that works. And so I'm going to take out food production because this is not going to be a food production ad, herbs and spices and additives. I'm just going to have those three. I've got my main page for that like big strawberry ad that I had. I'm going to have the LinkedIn page and the Facebook page, and these are all on the Google profile. And then I'm going to hit next. So again, it is filling all this information in. If I have a profile, if I have YouTube, if I have a phone number, it's going to fill all that information in because all that information is tied to my profile. So this is why you want to know that you're using the right address. And then it's going to ask me, what do I want to happen? What is the goal for my ad? And I actually have a couple of options here. I can have someone add something to a cart. I can have someone begin the checkout process, especially because this is an e-commerce site. So if you're David and you're trying to get people to do a wholesale purchase or a catering order, that's what it's called in the food business, then you might want them to do a phone call or you might want them to submit a form. Right? There may be something like that you want people to do. What I don't want you to choose is brand awareness. I'm a big fan of a page view. Like I want someone to click on the page. So I'm just going to put it in here and have it click on a page. And I'm going to edit the page to be not just the general products page. I want them to click on the specific page that I added in. Like I have my variants page. So I'm going to edit it so that it's clicking on that variants page. Come on. I'm going to have to use the backspace instead of the delete. There we go. Because my delete button was not working. Oh, it does not like for me to change this. It wants me to just grab the thing after it. So I'm going to grab the text after. and I'm going to send it directly to this variants page. This is a Shopify website. So Shopify websites are kind of awesome. They have those very long URLs, like super long URLs. So there we go. Now it's the page I want people to go to, and I'm going to hit next. So then I have just set up exactly what I want to happen. That a Yeti URL is different. Oh, okay. So they want it to be different. I'm going to go to collections then instead of products. Okay, so collections is where you would get to if you want to get to our flavors. And then when it says create the first campaign, it automatically starts showing me, what do you care about? What do you want people to see? So let's go back over here. It asks for the goal. Now it's going to start writing my ad. But the beautiful thing is that it's going to start writing my ad for me. So when we're over here creating this ad, what are some themes that we might want to put in here? So strawberry flavor, strawberry extract. Now in the chat, I want y'all to give me, what are some strawberry treats that you might use a strawberry flavor in or strawberry extract in? Because what we want to do, like I said, is be specific about what someone might be. Ooh, oh yes, strawberry cake. Yes, that's a good one. Cakes, cupcakes, tarts, frosting. David, yes. Oh my goodness, lemonade, strawberry, frosting, strawberry. So what we're doing here is building a list of key themes that includes drinks, it includes cakes, it includes frostings. And the beautiful thing, I'm going to put in that tarts because, of course, strawberry tarts. And what we don't have to do is get super specific. Like we might add in strawberry pie or something like that to include a bunch, like that one more dessert category. But when we have in here tart or lemonade, or cake, we don't need to go in and then write cupcake. We also don't need to write hand tart, like a hand pie, a Pop Tart. We don't need to put in lemonade and tea. We don't need to put in, because what Google will do is they're creating a bigger theme from those keywords. But you all delightfully gave me some ideas that got me so close that Google can say, okay, so if someone types in strawberry cupcake and I have a keyword of strawberry cake, it knows that cupcakes and cakes are relatively speaking the same thing, and it will likely show my ad for that strawberry extract, right? Yes, Monique, it is a wow moment. So that is what's awesome. So now it's telling me who should see it. And then I also get to determine kind of where we want this ad to show up. You can add in custom locations. You can say, I want it to show up everywhere in the US because I ship in the US. Or you can say, I want it to show up only in and then Chicago because I am in Chicago. Or if you're in a specific neighborhood in Chicago, you can get really close by entering in that neighborhood zip code, right? So you can say, I don't know any of the zip codes for Chicago, so I'll just use the ones here. So you could say 44107, which I think is Lakewood. And so, yeah, that's Lakewood. So you can say 44107, and it will include 44107. So you can add in neighborhoods. You get 60622. Thank you, David. So like you could type in 60622 and it will know which neighborhood, Cook County, it is looking for, and then it will add that one to my list. And so you don't have to run an ad. Like I said, you can get very specific. You don't have to run an ad everywhere. You can run an ad to specific areas, a bunch of specific areas, or any general area that you want to run the ad to. And then after that, next favorite thing that happens, y'all, I have a lot of favorite things that happen. So after that, then it takes your landing page and starts trying to figure out what to describe, like how to describe your campaign. So you are going to start creating the content and you're going to help it generate assets based on that. So what product or service are you advertising? And I'm going to say strawberry extract slash and flavor, if I spell flavor right, fur. And then you describe how people, it didn't even let me finish describing how people use it. It was like, we got this. And so from there, you can start adding in headlines. And when it says view suggestions, it's got a whole bunch of suggestions based on nothing. It is suggesting this based on the fact that I put in Certified Marketing Pro. Usually it'll suggest a bunch. Let's see if it'll suggest anything. Let me say new strawberry. Because I had the wrong title in there. It's just using that. Let's see. Is it not going to create? Let's see. Oh, it only created the one. Sometimes because again, y'all saw me type in that Certified Marketing Pro thing. I think it got confused. Usually when you have just your regular Bickford flavors and all the business stuff, it will create a bunch of headlines for you. It will suggest your long headlines. It will suggest your descriptions. It will pull images from your pages and then let you know. It'll say, which ones of these do you want to use? Do you want to use this one? Do you want to enhance this image? It'll ask if you want to create images based on that image. So it gives you a lot of different options and it's really great. And it also has like, this is one of the places that uses them. This is not their logo. And so I could change out the logo. Again, I could change out the business name because I'm not representing myself here. I would represent the business that I'm representing. So it would be creating all of this. It got the frequently asked questions, dairy flavors, all of those came directly from the website. So because the website, y'all are so funny, because the website is got all that information on it, it is pulling all that information for me. So when it says write your own ad, you really don't have to if you've done it the right way, where like you put all that information in, you gave it a good landing page, it creates all that stuff for you. It's genuinely pretty awesome. And then, like you already saw, we add in our key themes and you select your locations and you're good to go. At that point, the only thing you're doing is creating a budget. And so if you wanted to go into ads and follow along and do everything I just did, you would be building your entire ad and spending $0. Zero, because you don't spend any money until you select the budget and then put in your card. So literally after that, you review the campaign, you see what it is that you want to do, and then you put in your card and you go and you press go. And that is it. So it is like I just showed you in less than an hour exactly how to create an ad using Google Ads. It is that easy. So if any of you want to watch this video again and walk through the process with me, you are more than welcome to do so because I did not skip a single step. I showed you exactly what you're getting into if you start your ad. So what is the difference between this and other ads? So for all of you who are thinking, I've seen ads before and they didn't look like that. Like I've looked at this before and it was more complicated. I tried to do this in the past and it didn't work out. I will say you were probably in the advertiser managed search campaigns. Those can be very complicated. We call that expert mode. That is like for people who do advertising for a living, like myself, like people who are specialists who do this stuff with big budgets and stuff like that. If you're ready to get started, you're going to start with that Performance Max Smart campaign that I just showed you. And it's matter of fact, as you saw, when I went in, it didn't even give me a choice to do anything else, which was great. So I get to start my campaign pretty much on auto mode and it asks me all this information. It helps me build my ad. It helps me build my keywords. It helps me build my assets, all of those things. It helps me find my links. It helps me do everything so that you don't have to worry about doing it. Now, once you get started, if you're David and Chantrice and everybody else here, you're thinking, well, I'm going to need to run an ad for more than just my cookies, right? Like I need people to come here for everything else that I make as well. Well, you can set up multiple ads within the same ad account. And so once you get that cookie ad going, then you're going to do another ad for, let's say, the pies, because I saw you put in their pies and cakes and all these. I'm like, you're going to put in an ad for pies. You're going to put in an ad for cakes. You're going to put in an ad for, maybe you have some pastries that you make. Those are my favorite, David. I'm a pastries person. So you're going to put in some of your pastries that you make. And so if you're doing that sort of ads, then you will have landing page for pretzels. Yes, Darren. Does he have pretzels? Does David do pretzels? Okay, anyway, so you're gonna put in different ads for all the different things that you do. And then what you can do, David, yes, that's what I was gonna say. So David is like, are these all included in the same budget? Yes, they are if you do it this way. So if you create a campaign that is my bakery campaign, this ad group could be for cookies, and this ad group could be for pastries, and this ad group for pies. You would create as many ad groups as you want. And yes, you can create multiple ad groups, and they all are under the same budget. So if you wanted to use that $500 budget we talked about earlier, no, that is not a suggestion. That is just my, like, it was in their thing for a $500 credit. So if you want to use $500, you could do all of those ads for $500. And when I say for $500, we haven't even talked about bidding, because bidding is its own special thing where if you find the right keywords, like we were talking about with strawberry flavor, strawberry lemonade, strawberry, and we find those kinds of keywords, we're not going to be competing against everyone. Remember, competition was one of the things that matters. So when we lower our competition and we start only trying to get keywords in 60622, we're not competing with everyone on the planet, then our ads get cheaper and cheaper, and that $500 is going to go further and further. So that's why we want to make sure that we are doing things the right way. And we are not going to switch over to expert mode until we are absolutely and completely. Oh goodness, David. David is crushing up pretzels in his blondies. Okay, see, this is the thing. David out here, David don't want me to be great. David wants me to be chunky. And I'm okay with that because I like chunky. I'm a chunky person. I like dessert too much to be skinny. So David is out here doing the work of the gods. So all of you have a really good idea now of how this works. So some of you pay per campaign. Yes, yes, yes. Whoever said that, Chantrice, you said that. That is exactly how you pay. You can go through, and with Google, one of the things is you get all this, you get your text, you get your headlines, you get your URL, you get suggestions. So you can go through and get the text ad tips, but you don't even need them anymore because thank you, David. Because you're going to get AI helping you to create the ad in the first place. You're going to get help with your themed keywords. You're going to get help with figuring out what those things should be. You don't have to do the expert thing where you have to use the quotation marks or the brackets, or you don't have to do any of that anymore because Google has made it a lot easier. If you want to go into expert mode and start using the keyword planner and doing those things, you absolutely can. But I would encourage you to run ads for like 6 months before you do that, because I want you to get a really good idea of how the ads work in smart mode before you switch over. Before you start trying to figure out your own asset links, like we saw, it created all that stuff for me. I didn't have to do any of it. Now, how do you measure your success? We only got a couple more minutes, and I want to make sure you understand how this works. First of all, David isn't just gonna, Chantrice, all of you are not gonna just run an ad just to be running an ad. You're going to run an ad to try to get something specific to happen. You're gonna say, I want to increase my Monsters cookie. I'm gonna try to increase the sale of that cookie by 22% week over week for 3 weeks. I'm going to start my ad, I'm going to count my cookies, and I'm going to try to increase my sales using ads only. So you're not going to do any social media posts, you're not going to do anything else. You're just going to look and see if more people are coming in to buy that cookie because of your ad. That's the kind of thing that we want to do. What is the goal that we're trying to accomplish? And then you're going to look at your Google Ads to see how many impressions you're getting, how many clicks, and how many conversions. You're not just going to set the ad and wait for the money to start rolling in, wait for the customers to run through your door. You're going to look at your ads platform. And if you're really smart, you're going to do this next thing, which is connect your Google Ads to your Google Analytics. And if you're wondering what that means, we have an analytics workshop where I walk through it, and Score has actually recorded that and put it up on their YouTube channel. And so if you want to work through that workshop too, where you show not just how people work on the ad, but then what do they do after they go to your website? Like, you can actually see all of that if you link your Google Analytics to your Google Ads. It's genius. Okay, we're at the end. I want to know, thank you, Chantrice. Okay, I want to know, what do y'all plan on doing? So in the chat, y'all need to tell me, What is your action plan? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you thinking you want to do now that you know what you know about ads? While you're typing, I'm going to work through the rest of this little presentation in the last 30 seconds. So now you know a lot about how Google Ads works. If you want to learn more, there is a YouTube channel for Grow with Google where I'm on there teaching some classes. Other people are on there teaching classes. There's a lot of really great information on that YouTube channel. There are, of course, certificates you can take via Coursera. It's fantastic. If you are a person, again, all of you are business owners, like what are you waiting for? Go over to the Grow with Google website to like learn more. There's always so much more. Chantrice is going to get specific. You should stop, because it's not that you should stop using social media. You should stop advertising that cookie just to see. You want to isolate your efforts, right? You don't want to be selling people the cookies on social media and putting them on this place and put them on that. Like, see, okay, Dale, increase some sales. So go get those ads out there and increase the sales. So I think y'all get the reason why you want to be specific. Okay. Now, if you think that this was a great workshop and you had a great time, here is a QR code you can scan or go to the g.co/grow/feedback link and give Google a review. It's going to ask you where you are. For all of you people who are not in Ohio, you're going to say Ohio. And for everyone who's in Ohio, you're going to say Ohio, because that's where I am. So you're going to say Ohio. Okay, Camilla is going to think about specifics. This is what, as long as y'all got that, you got the most important thing. Specificity is your friend when you are running ads. Okay. I think I just ran a marathon in that hour. Y'all feeling that marathon with me? I think you are. So, generate specific ads for specific things. You guys are great. I appreciate that. Yes. Chantrice has the emojis for all of the activities. I love it. I'm glad you all got all of the information. Thank you so much. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who was here and participated. I always appreciate it. Dan, you with us?
I'm still here, Lindsay. I don't know what it is that gets you going, but you beat the Energizer Bunny by many, many yards. In the 440, you are finishing crossing the finish line while the Energizer Bunny's just halfway. I'm telling you, but even though you raced through it, it was fantastic information. And of course, you gave everybody links to go to Grow with Google with all those fantastic resources there. Lindsay, by the way, has many other webinars on the SCORE website and in the YouTube channel. So if you're looking for other things that Lindsay does, including artificial intelligence, which is a very big item, she is your go-to person for an hour's worth of download that will make you smarter and will also make your business grow. So thank you, everyone, all 31 people who attended. Just going to put up at the very end here the QR codes that we talked about earlier. Whoops, I got to share my screen to do that. There we go. Here we go. So these are the QR codes that we mentioned earlier. One takes you to the SCORE Cleveland homepage, so you can see all the resources, including access to Lindsay's webinars. Just go to resources, and when you click on it, ask for Cleveland recorded webinars, and then ask for Lindsay Sims McGee. And you will see all the great resources that she has there for you. If you want a SCORE mentor, use the QR code on the right, and that will take you to a dialog box where you can describe your business, what kind of help, education, and advice you would like. So I'll leave that up there for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to wish you all a good evening. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you all for a great evening. We're now going to close the session, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye now. Oh, by the way, everyone who was on the session will get a link to the recording and a